Good news, gamers, I'm back, baby. We're making some more Dark Magician decks. Today, we're looking at Invoked Dragoon / Invoked Dark Magician. We used to play this deck a lot, but then we lost Anaconda and it was big sad. So let's go over some of the stuff in this list today and then we'll play the deck. There's a lot of bricks. Let's start with there's a lot of bricks. These 4 cards, you could play DMG or Mana as well, but I feel like we've got too many bricks already. 2 DM, one of these could go. I'm happy with 2. I always like 2 though. 3's too many, 1's not enough, you know? 1 Red Eyes, because we are playing the ref. Whenever I play Meltdown, I feel like you gotta play ref. Because you can go Meltdown, your opponent ashes it, and you just go ref. And if they Judgment it, the Meltdown protects the ref. Like, it's crazy, and people forget. When you're versing Eldritch and they like set 5, and you just go like Meltdown, and then ref, and they try to like negate it with anything, and you're just like, I have Meltdown up. It's amazing. Now, obviously, Meltdown does not protect you from Ash. Some people think that. It doesn't. I wish it did. It doesn't. Ash still negates ref even with Meltdown up. It's stupid, but that's just how it is. We have a second Dragon Brick, that being Timaeus, but he facilitates the new combination. Let's just go through that right now. Alright, so you just gotta open 3 cards. Yay! DM 3-card combos, of course, because Anaconda's gone. So what we're going to do here is standard Meltdown Alistair things. You are going to grab Alistair. Big surprise in the Invoke deck that you need to do that. From here, of course, you're going to grab Invocation. Once again, nothing new. We're going to go into Artemis. So at this point, we're just kind of disguising it all as just Invoke shenanigans. Great. Opponent still doesn't suspect anything, right? Now we got to Illusion of Chaos. They're going to be like, oh, to get Magician Souls? You're going to be like, no. I'm going to grab Timaeus. Timaeus is going to come down by putting the Artemis in the bin. So that's important. Alistair and Artemis are in the bin. Guess what? Now we can go, boom, big Invocation hours. Here comes Mechaba. If they do negate this, okay. It's sad, but you can then obviously still keep going. We're going to go ahead and add the Alistair back to hand because we do like card advantage. And now it's time for Magician Souls to send/summon the Dark Magician. So out comes your boy DM onto the field. And now we've actually got a negate in hand. So we go, hey, I'd like to fuse. The opponent can respond, and we can use Mechaba to negate if they do anything about that. We can summon Garura, but we're probably not going to do that, are we? Now, luckily, this is off 3 cards, so you do love to see it. I believe we are protected through Magical Meltdown, right? The activation of your cards and effects that include the effect of Fusion Summon cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a fusion monster is summoned this way. So, I think that does protect Timaeus, actually, from like Effect Veiler, for example. Kinda nice, kinda nice. So 3 cards, we can still get to Mechaba Dragoon with Alistair in hand, so then we'll still have 2 other cards, right? Not bad at all. So that's the standard Invoked Dark Magician play now that Anaconda's gone. You can see it's still quite good, just a little less consistent and easy. Alright, getting back to the deck profile, we've got the Dogmatica engine. You can see we've got Ecclesia and we've got Fleur-de-Lis with the 3 Nadirs here. Now, normally you're just going to Nadir Servant here, sending either the Elder Entity for a pop, or going first, you can send Garura and get a fat draw. So the best interaction with Garura is you go Nadir Servant, sending Garura, adding, let's say, Ecclesia, and next thing you're going to want to do is activate Garura, and you can chain your Soul Servant and put the piece you're missing on top. So you might be missing your Salvation Eternal Soul, or you might be missing your Circle. So you can just go Soul Servant. You might even need Secrets, who knows? So the cool thing about Garura being sent is, yeah, obviously you've got all these cool interactions with Soul Servant, but you can always just send Titanic Lad if you just want to add that Fleur-de-Lis in the end phase. That's absolutely fine too. So that's still an option as well. You could play Omega or some other options. Omega'd be good right now to recycle some stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of options you can play. I thought I'm going to play the target that doubles as a Super Poly target because we're citing that Super Poly, right? So there is that other Super Poly target there. So let's just talk about that real quick and get onto the Invoked engine. Of course, 3 Alistair, 3 Meltdown, 1 Invo. You could go up, but I'm risking it for the biscuit with just 1. If it gets milled, you're crying though, so you might want to just bump this up to 2, but that's up to you. We've got the 1 Rod for when you don't see the Alistair, so you might be like, oh, well, I can normal either Ecclesia that I get off Nadir, or you can go Illusion of Chaos, prep into Rod, if you've already opened Magician Souls, for example, with Illusion of Chaos. You can just go and grab Rod. That's why I like playing the 1 Rod, because 1, it recycles itself, and 2, you know what, sometimes you don't see the Alistair, even though you've got, what, how many ways to it? 1, 2, set rotation 3. So many ways to get to Alistair plus himself, but sometimes you just don't see it. So there's the rod, it's just there, it's searchable, it's not as good, but it's there. You could cut it, but I think you play it when you got Illusion of Chaos from preps and stuff like that. Triple Magician Souls, this card's great. You saw how it facilitates the Tamias, Alistair, Magician Souls combo to make Dragoon Mechaba turn 1, which is a very nice board. Obviously very prone to Super Poly. That's where you're going to want to hope you see your set rotation terraforming or your village, just to get into that. You can play more village. You can see I've got mine sided. I just like the 1 as a tech, and you can, like, there's essentially 3 copies of this village in here, right? Obviously, Meltdown's your best field spell, so you max on that. And these 2 are your, like, tech ones, your DM one and your Floodgate going first one. Illusion of Chaos, of course, it's a DM deck, and what deck wouldn't want to play the best searcher we have? Some people seem to not understand playing prep as well. Guys, it's a searcher for your searcher that searches your searcher. Alright. Some people think that's dumb. I'm not quite sure where they're coming from. Like, most decks would love to be able to search, right? Deck thinning at its finest. Like, this is a good thing. So the preps here can obviously just be held in the hand and used as a negate, a spell negate for Mechaba, or they can just be used to thin the deck. The other thing is, if you open too many preps, like people are like, oh, what if I brick on prep? It's like, you can't brick on prep. You activate prep, you grab Illusion of Chaos, it grabs Magician Souls, you can send the other prep for a draw. Like, you can't send additional Magician Illusion of Chaoses for draws, you can't send additional copies of Magician Souls for draws, you can send additional copies of prep for draws. Like, come on guys, use them brains. Basically, a card that gets you to a card that sends spells for draws, like, come on. Think about it for a second. You can max out on this. You can play 3. But, you know, for deck space, I'm just playing 2. Because I think it's better to max out on the powerful cards. So, Meltdown, Ref, Nadir. They're the strong ones. I'm going to max on them. Soul Servant, you could argue, is not as strong, but I think you got to play it at 3 anyway, because it synergizes so well with Circle and just the rest of the deck, right? Often, if I don't have a piece of Circle or Eternal Soul, like I don't have either piece, but I do have Soul Servant, what I'll do is get to Magician Souls and just send it for draws. Because, like, I don't have Circle or Eternal, who cares? Just send it away, get a draw. They might negate it, and then you can banish the Soul Servant, get another draw. So, I like that. And you might draw into the pieces you need, or you might just draw into some dumb stuff like Ref, and you'll cry. But, hey, that's the nature of drawing cards, right? So the 1 Invocation, we spoke about that earlier. The Nadir, we spoke about that already. Crack card, it's back at 3 finally, let's go. We've got Preparation of Rites, we've spoken about that. Triple Ref. Now this could not be here. You could take out the Red Eyes and the Refs and just play like main deck Super Polys, more Village, anything you like. You play DMG, but I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking slap Ref in. I love Ref, you guys know I love Ref. Ref is the best card. And seeing Meltdown Ref is sometimes just game winning going second, and I love that. Going second, Super Poly, with Ref, like, obviously you can't use them together, but having 2 super strong fusion spells going second, oh, it feels amazing, right? You're bound to see one of them, if not draw into it, hopefully, and if not, you hopefully see Nadir, which, while it's not as strong as, say, Ref or Super Poly going second, it can at least force a negate, it can at least get you somewhere. Then we've got the Terraforming, because obviously we want to add these field spells, they're all pretty good. Secrets, probably one of the cards you could cut. I'm giving it a shot. I've never liked it in the Invoked variants, but like, you gotta play some ice anyway, may as well try Secret as well. Set rotation, card's good, card's really good. You can give your opponent Village and you get Meltdown, like, you can give them Salvation, like, what are they gonna do with Salvation? So you got 2 great field spells to give the opponent, you can even give them Meltdown, like, it just, as long as you know what they're playing, like, you can easily give them one of these. And even if they are playing DM, who cares, give them Salvation, like, that's still fine. Then we've got Soul Servant at 3. There's no DMG or mana in this deck, or Mahad. You could cut this down. I'm just playing it at 3 still, because I still think it's really good, and it's just free draws with Magician Souls. I would understand if you wanted to cut this down, though. Then we got Circle. It's a 2. It's fine. It does the job some of the time, not all the time. That's its biggest flaw. You know how I feel about Circle. Meltdown is the best field spell, that's why it's a 3. And then we've got the rest of the field spells. Punishment, you could not play this, but I thought I'd have it for going first when you do open the Nadir, and you just want to get that crack set up. Like, you could have Dragoon plus Punishment, like, that'd be really nice. And then just 2 Eternal Souls, so you kind of got 3 with the Salvation. You can always send the Salvation for draws once again, which I do also like very much. Alright, that is the main deck. I'm pretty happy with it. You could definitely tech in some different choices and stuff. You could play some hand traps if you wanted, some floodgates. I felt like going with a diverse deck that just has a lot of starting cards. So we've got the Ref, we've got the Meltdown, we've got the Nadir. There's 9 cards which kind of get us going. So hopefully if, you know, you get ashed on Meltdown and negated on Meltdown, you can go for Ref. If you don't have Ref, hopefully you can go for Nadir. You can still Nadir when Ref is negated. Obviously, you won't be able to summon whatever you add off Nadir. But for example, if you just want to get the draw with the Garura, if you really need the pop, if you really want the search, like, there are things you can do. And if you play the Schism package, you can also play the Schism package, which I'm sure a lot of people have in the past, where you play Shaddoll Schism along with, need Alkalone, I believe it is. Yep, this boy here. And we need Winder, of course. So Winder is obviously a very good card. So what you can do with this little setup is Nadir Servant is going to send you Alkalone. Alkalone effect will trigger after you've done your Nadir searching, and that will add you the Schism. Then you put a card into the graveyard from your hand, so it doesn't really matter, just anything. And then you're going to have yourself a window on the opponent's turn by flipping this, fusing the Shaddoll Alkalone in the grave with any dark monster, literally when there's just any dark and a Shaddoll monster, like you love to see it. That's going to give you a very, very, very easy window. It is a spellcaster dark, so very prone to super poly shenanigans, but super good. And if you get your Dragoon up, let's say you go Ref, you can still activate Nadir and get to the Schism play, which I used to love. I used to love that. So you could definitely put this little engine in here. Of course, if you draw the Schism, it's very bricky, like it does nothing by itself. You're main decking a very dead card in a deck that already has many bricks. So I've played it in the past, loved it. It gave me so many tournament wins. But, or I should say round wins, not tournament wins, but you know what I mean. Obviously, it plays into the whole brick scenario of the deck. Obviously, if you see with Magician's Souls, it's not that bad. You can send it away and draw. That's its only redeeming factor. It's a brick that's a spell/trap, and in a deck like DM, that can be manageable. Because we have prep to Illusion of Chaos to Souls. We have so many copies of Souls now, it's great. Anyway, that's a package for you guys if you're keen. Let's look at the extra deck. We've got Mechaba. You could play more than one, but a bit tight on space, so I just went with the one. Double Dragoon. Because there's multiple ways to make it. You got Ref to make it, you got Tamias to make it, so Secret's even, so I went with 2. You could swap these ratios though with the Mechaba. Now obviously, Starving Venom is one of your super poly targets, but I've found games where you go into it with Secrets in battle phase and like kill people. It's funny, it's great. It's just surprising. It's not bad at all. Very, very strange tech. Another card you're going to be sending off Nadir is of course your little, what's it called? Titanic Lad, Ash Dragon. Back to the Invoked Fusions, we should probably group them up like this. We've got Purgatrio. Purgatrio is a really good card if your opponent's gone wide and they've negated everything else, and then you just go, cool, Invocation, here's Purgatrio, swing, 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 that's game. So many games can be won with this card. It's such a great card when your opponent's just got a big-ass wide board. You can dump an Alistair on it, make it even bigger. Love it. Absolutely love it. I think you got to play one no matter what, and that's why I've got the Almirage here too, so we can just get into it. Why am I playing OCG Almirage? Oh well, doesn't matter. Then we've got Orguidos. I mean, this card just banishes a fusion, and we've got a lot of them, and we Nadir put some in the bin too. Banishes a fusion, and then you can just pop off. Like, he pops something on the field, and his attack goes up, and he starts slapping. It is your boy Alistair turning into the Spellbook Tower, so any Spellbook gamers in the chat get excited. But yeah, like, you don't have to play this as well. This is kind of a tech spot. You could play another Mechaba instead. That's up to you. I think that's most of the cards. Garura, obviously, great super poly target, amazing Nadir send as well. Just a great card all around, getting free draws. Nadir's very standard, you know what it does. Pops a card, very cool. We've got the Link climbing engine of Dark into Selene and an access code, still works great. Artemis for when you do just open the rod, but also for the Invoked engine, you love to see it. Anima for when you open Souls and you want to get a disruption going second, you can summon out Souls, go into Anima, try and bait a response. Or you can even Souls, send a card to get a draw, any response? No? Go into Anima, try suck that up, any response? You can force like 2 responses just with Magician Souls this way. Obviously they can just not do anything, but you should get stuff off it regardless. You either get a draw, fix your hand a little bit, or you suck up one of their monsters, which they normally aren't going to like. So I really like it. It just makes Magician Souls like more annoying for the opponent. You don't have to play it, of course. I've had lists where I just have to cut it, but I really do like Anima. Like, obviously only good going second, but very, very nice. Love it. And it's a spellcaster, so if you play mana and they target like the Relinquished Anima to negate it, or the Souls to negate it, you can bring the mana out. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Oh, I love it so much. So Magician Souls could be like a 1-card Link 2. If you go Magician Souls, effect to send a card to draw. I guess you need to have a card to send a draw, but you get what I mean. You go, send a draw, and they go, yeah, chain, like, effect Veiler. Oh, you targeted? Oh, summon out the mana that I sent with the Magician Souls, right? Or they don't do that, right? And you go, oh, Magician Souls, draw one. They're like, yeah, that's fine. You draw one. And then you go, Magician Souls, link it to Anima. Anima, suck the monster. Any response? They go, effect Vela, like negate or imperm negate. You're like, chain mana and grave summon. And then you've got a link too. Like, boom. And you can always go into dark from there, because this is a dark. Magician Souls is a dark. Obviously, mana's a light, but dark just needs including a dark. 2 monsters including a dark. So, great way to link climb off one monster, right? That's a reason to put mana in the deck. Honestly, put mana in, boys. I love it. I love it. Now, obviously, they could target and destroy, and then you just get the mana out, and there's nothing else, but you've baited a response, right? So, Magician Souls with Anima, I really like it. Yeah, if you can't tell, I really like it. It's a little good. Maybe after that speech, I should never drop this. It's a very good card. You kind of got to play mana with it, though. And, of course, Almirage is just your second Artemis, like, kind of thing for Alistair, so you can make Purgatrio with ease. Don't always need it, so you can cut this too, but I like having it just in case. It's really nice link one just to have in case. Side deck, I don't really have one. I just think the extra copies of Village and Super Poly is mandatory, like super good to have Super Poly around. This is a deck I love playing, but you guys can fill out the rest of this however you like. Let me know what you think of the Invoked Dark Magician Dragoon deck profile down in the comments. Catch you guys next time.